all have flaws. None of us are perfect. You cannot wait for the perfect moment, the perfect situation, because it does not exist. While you sit on the sidelines and wait for the perfect moments to shoot your shot, somebody else is busy shooting their shot and more likely getting a step closer to achieving the things that they want to achieve for themselves. We need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. You have what it takes. It's just a matter of truly believing in yourself and committing fully, showing up consistently every single time and shooting your shot. Hi, my name is Mila. Welcome to my channel. On this channel, I share content around entrepreneurship, motivation, a little bit of girl chat, and lifestyle. So if that's something you're interested in, please subscribe to my channel. I promise you'll love it here. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for coming back. So I want to get straight into this video. Around this time of the year, people are reflecting, right? Reflecting on the year that was, reflecting on what they want to aspire to in the new year, reflecting on the goals that they want to achieve for themselves in the new year. So I've been doing that myself too, and as I've been reflecting on my vision for the year, my goals for the year, something that came to my mind is shooting your shot. A lot of times we sit on the sidelines watching other people achieve their goals, reach their targets, build the dream life that they want for themselves, or become the people that they envision for themselves. And I think that's all good and dandy, but there's two sides to it. You're either sitting on the sidelines and just merely watching, or you're sitting on the sidelines and being inspired, being motivated, and being encouraged by other people's wins. Yes, we are admiring others, we are sitting on the sidelines and watching others achieve their goals and their wins, but we are taking something from it. We are using that as motivation and really affirmation and confirmation that it is also possible for ourselves, and confirmation of what is actually possible for everyone if they really put their minds to it. I think a lot of times we fail to take action in the sense of shooting our shots for opportunities because of fear. Fear can be very crippling, and one thing I've learned, or I've learned to do in my own life regarding fear, is to see it as an acquaintance, not something foreign, not something crippling, not something scary, not something shocking. Yes, we're human and it can take us aback and it can cause us to feel a bit unsettled, and that's absolutely okay. But I think there's so much power in identifying the fear that you feel when it comes to certain things and the source of it. Because when you're able to do that, then you're able to identify areas in your life that you maybe need to relook at, areas that you maybe need to re-strategize on, and things that you maybe need to strengthen yourself on. And sometimes the only way that we can identify that is by taking a step back and being honest with ourselves and having honest conversations with ourselves. A lot of times we tend to dismiss certain feelings because either for whatever reason, we sometimes tend to dismiss certain feelings, but I think it's important that we acknowledge them. And in this case, it being fear, because fear can prevent you from taking the shots that you need to take to help you become the person that you want to be and to help you achieve the things that you want to achieve for your life. So I think the first step is addressing the feeling of fear and learning to accept it, learning to welcome it, and learning to be comfortable enough to address it and see where it's coming from, why you are feeling it, and how you can use what it's showing you to your benefit. It's absolutely okay to fail. It's absolutely okay to fail. We live in a society where failure is frowned upon, but luckily more and more we are starting to realize that a lot of people do fail. Even the people that we look up to, our faves, most successful people in this world, they have failed various times, and essentially they are where they are today because of those failures. So the best thing you can do is, if you shoot your shots and you miss, or it doesn't really give you the results that you want, take that opportunity to see what you can do better, how you can improve, where you can improve, and keep shooting your shots. Success doesn't happen overnight. We don't achieve the things we want to achieve for ourselves overnight. We don't become the people that we want to become overnight. It's going to take a lot of trials. It's going to take a lot of shooting your shots. It's going to take a lot of commitments, you know. And so the more shots you shoot, really, the more opportunities you have at achieving the things you want to achieve for yourself. I always like to think of the Michael Jordan scenario. You know, Michael Jordan, I don't know really, I can't remember how he phrases it, but one thing that he always mentions when he talks about his success journey is the fact that it took him missing a lot of shots to actually get the shots that have made him who he is today, you know. And we don't really look at or focus on the shots that he missed. We're always looking at the shots that he made, the shots that he did get in the basket. But behind those winning shots, there were a lot more failed shots. But every time he walked onto the basketball court, we didn't see him walking on frowning or depressed or, you know, depleted with some attitude of this again. No, every time he walked onto that court, regardless of how many failed shots he had, regardless of a previous bad game, regardless of bad situations, he always came giving it his best and ready to take his shot. So that's an example I really love, that I think we can all really learn from, and it's really very encouraging. Another thing that I think is very important to consider is attitude, right? Shooting a shot is something that you absolutely need to do, but we need to also be realistic about the attitude behind it. In order for you to shoot shots that are going to have some sort of relevance, or shots that are going to provide some sort of opportunity or have a better chance of giving the outcome that you want, the attitude that you have will definitely, absolutely matter. Take this for example. If you wake up feeling depleted, you wake up feeling depressed, you wake up feeling not so great, chances are the actions that follow are not going to be your best either. You won't be really encouraged to do certain things. You won't be motivated to do certain things. You'll probably just want to get over and done with the day and call it a day, right? But if you wake up feeling your best, you wake up feeling encouraged, you wake up feeling inspired and motivated, chances are the actions that follow that are going to be actions that correlate with that feeling, be actions that bring you a step closer to what you're trying to achieve. Everything that you do within your day is going to be fired by the motivation you're feeling, the goodness you're feeling, the inspiration you're feeling, if that makes sense. So I think it's very important to be mindful of our feelings, mindful of our attitude when we are trying to take certain shots, when we are trying to shoot certain shots in our life, because that highly impacts the results that you will gain from you shooting your shots. Another thing I really want to discuss that I've mentioned before, and I think it's just so important, is that we need to view our thoughts as a sanctuary. We need to really start understanding that our thoughts have a huge impact on the way our life plays out. We need to guard it so well, we need to protect it so well. And when you start doing that, you start realizing how much of an impact your thoughts actually really have in your life. A lot of people don't like to address it. A lot of people dismiss it. A lot of people, you know, have an excuse for it. But it's so important that you consider your thoughts when you're trying to achieve certain things in your life. You need to filter the things that you take in. I made an example once of being mindful of the information, of the things that you feed your mind on a daily basis. If you are someone that is really trying to step up, if you're trying to really become the type of person you know you need to be for the type of life you want, you are going to have to be mindful of things that you are consuming mentally. For example, I'll use myself as an example. I like to spend a lot more time on my business Instagram as opposed to my personal Instagram, because on my business Instagram, I started following a lot of accounts that either were motivational, had resources that were helpful to my business, were encouraging, or people who were also running business that I was aspiring to be like, or um, their success was inspiring to me, or their goals were what I was also trying to achieve in my own business. So what happened is that my feed now is simply filled with things that are motivational, educational resources, and people winning, people achieving things, and people being successful, people like me, people that I can relate to. And that is really encouraging. So even if I'm sitting on my business Instagram feed for a few minutes, it's things that are motivational that I'm taking in. On my personal feed, it's more entertainment related content, so it's great to pass time, it's great to have a laugh at and things like that, but not all of it is around motivation or educational resources like my business page, which is something I'm trying to work on now, because I'm really now mindful of the things that I take in. People who know me know that I can disappear off social platforms for sometimes days, sometimes weeks, and sometimes months. And I found that to be very helpful in terms of taking breaks from these platforms, and it helps me come back renewed. It helps me come back with more drive. It helps me come back with more clarity. So if that's something that you can also do, I really recommend taking social media breaks, and just spending time with yourself, learning more about yourself and understanding yourself better, especially in terms of the person you are trying to become for the type of life you want for yourself. I also want to mention that it's really important not to worry too much about what people have to say or what people think. A lot of times I think that we fail to shoot our shots because of fear of what people will say if we fail, fear of what people will think if we fail. We need to stop worrying about that. The same people we are looking at to gaining their wins, achieving their goals, achieving the life that they want for themselves, achieving their dreams, they are worried about their own personal gains, their own personal wins. And while we are on the sidelines worrying about what people think, people are making their moves. People are getting to the bag. People are getting their wins. People are building the lives that they want for themselves. So if anything, that should tell you that if they can do it, you can do it too. What other people think does not matter. What other people will say is irrelevant, because at the end of the day, your dream is on the line. The type of life you want for yourself is on the line. Your goals are on the line. And if you really are focused on achieving those things, you are going to do what it takes for you to achieve them. You are going to shoot as many shots as you need to shoot in order to achieve them, regardless of what people will have to say. If we look at our faves, the most successful people in the world today, they were not at all concerned about what people had to say. They were shooting as many shots as they needed to shoot because they knew what they wanted. They were zoned in and focused on what they were trying to achieve, and that's all that they were concerned about. And they knew that they were going to have to take as many shots as they need to take to be able to achieve that, regardless of what anyone has to say about it. And here they are today, People like Steve Harvey, for example, who was broke for many years, who was living in his car for many years. People never took him seriously, but he was always taking his shots, and look where he is today. Someone like Oprah, for example, it took her a very long time to get into broadcasting. It took her a very long time to get in front of the TV camera, but she kept on taking her shots regardless of what people had to say, especially back in the days when it was a lot about there was a lot of controversy around color, the skin of your color, and so on. She did not take that to heart. She did not let that affect her efforts and what she was trying to achieve for herself. And look at her today, you know. And that's just a few examples. So if you know what you want for yourself, you need to understand that you need to shoot as many shots as possible, regardless of what people around you are going to say. It's about time we stop sitting on the sidelines and watching things happen for others when you have all the potential within you and everything you need within you to make it happen for yourself too. You need to get off the sidelines and take your shot, because all that you desire for yourself depends on it. We all have flaws. None of us are perfect. You cannot wait for the perfect moment, the perfect situation, because it does not exist. While you sit on the sidelines and wait for the perfect moments to shoot your shot, somebody else is busy shooting their shot, and more likely getting a step closer to achieving the things that they want to achieve for themselves. We need to stop feeling sorry for ourselves. You have what it takes. It's just a matter of truly believing in yourself and committing fully, showing up consistently every single time and shooting your shot. Whether you get it, whether you miss it, there's always a takeaway from it that can help you improve for your next opportunity, for your next shot that you're going to shoot, and that will lead you a step closer to being where you want to be. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope that was encouraging. I wish you a really amazing year. I have a really great feeling about this year for all of us. I feel like this is a year that's going to be filled with many wins. This is a win that is going to be filled with success for a lot of us, and this is the year where a lot of us are going to start tapping into the abundance that we rightfully deserve. And this is a year for a lot of us who have been showing up, where the blessings are finally going to manifest themselves. I claim it for all of you. Claim it for yourself. And again, if you enjoyed this video, please subscribe. Please like. Please leave a comment. I'm happy to hear what you have to say on the subject. I'd love to hear what you have to say on it, and I respond to all the comments. I wish you a really prosperous new year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.